This will be an interesting match. These two teams were group members during the Euro 2024 group stage qualifiers and have formed quite a rivalry. Who will make the final statement in the upcoming main competition at the Dortmund Stadium in Germany? Welcome back to the Football Pit. Before we begin, please support our channel by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel to not miss any of the action. Slovenia versus Denmark. Slovenia qualifies. Slovenia and Denmark are familiar with each other as they were both in the same qualification group for the upcoming Euro competition. The two teams have had moments, but we'll get to that later in the video. Slovenia is not one of football's most prominent countries. Currently ranked at 57 in the FIFA World Rankings, and they would be hoping to gain some points to move higher up the rankings through the upcoming Euro competition in June. Speaking of the Euro, the first time Slovenia qualified for the competition was in 2000. The upcoming 2024 Euro would be the second time they would be playing in the esteemed competition in their history. Also, this will be the first time in 24 years that Slovenia have qualified for the Euro, but they almost didn't qualify. It all came down to their final match against Kazakhstan on 20 November 2023. That match could have gone either way between the two countries, so the stakes were extremely high. Kazakhstan wasn't about to make it easier for Slovenia. This would have been their first ever qualification. Although they had secured a playoff spot following their promotion to League B of the 2024-25 Nations League, winning would earn them a direct qualification. So, the stage was set for an epic tale, and by the end of the first half, that tale looked to favour Slovenia. Right at the end of the first half, Slovenia got a penalty after a VAR review revealed that Kazakhstan's Jan Vorogovski fouled Petar Stojanovic in the box. It was a pressure-filled penalty kick, but Benjamin Sesko stepped up and converted it coolly. There was another 45 minutes to be played. Their head needed to be in the game, and by the 48th minute, Slovenia looked on in horror as Ramazan Orazov from Kazakhstan scored his first international goal from a Maxim Samorodov low cross to bring the two teams level. The tension was high, but fortunately they didn't need to win. A draw was enough. It was Kazakhstan that needed to win the most, but this is football. Anything could cost Slovenia. So, rather than hold on for a draw, they showed spirit. They had the sold-out support of the Stojice Stadium, Slovenia behind them. Then they reaped the reward for not giving up when Benjamin Verbic scored 4 minutes from the end of the game. His goal sparked incredible scenes of celebration. We are glad, happy and proud, and deservedly so, head coach Maciej Kek said to the press after the game. The coach had earlier stated when the Euro qualifiers began that Slovenia had only one goal, and it was to get a Euro 2024 appearance. Kek said they had now accomplished their mission, and also added, "I think that this will provide fresh momentum for Slovenian football." Kek also said that the current crop of Slovenian national team members had almost been proclaimed losers, but now they have restored faith in Slovenian football. Now that they have accomplished their mission to qualify for the main competition, what does Slovenia have in store for fans? Will they be food for other teams, or will they play to get past the group stages? What do you think their ambition is for the upcoming competition? Well, whatever it is, it won't be easy, and Denmark certainly wouldn't make it easy. Slovenia versus Denmark. Denmark shows class. For Denmark, who are currently 21 on FIFA World Rankings, the Euro is their playground. They have qualified for the competition 10 times now, and have even won it once. However, it wasn't as if they always glided past opponents with ease. Their qualifying match against Slovenia is an example of what I'm talking about. To qualify for the 2024 Euro, Denmark had to win that match, and truly showed their winning desire right from the first minute of the game. They took the match to Slovenia and almost scored in the 12th minute when Jonas Wind got a header on target. But Slovenia goalkeeper Jan Oblak made a fine save to keep the scoreline level. It would be the first of many athletic saves for Oblak. However, there was only so much Oblak could do. By the 26th minute, Denmark wingback Joachim Mæhle scored a sensational goal to put Denmark ahead. As if Slovenia was waiting for Denmark to score, they equalised not long after with a superb goal from fullback Erik Janser from the edge of the box. Looked like that match was a day for defenders scoring skillful goals. Denmark had a couple of more chances to score, but they were wasteful. However, apart from their goal, Slovenia had no answer to Denmark's height and power at set pieces, and it would be a clever-headed flick from Yannick Vestergaard that midfielder Thomas Delaney latched on to put Denmark ahead. With that goal, they qualified for the Euro. This was something the Danes needed, considering their poor performance at the 2022 World Cup. which saw them exit the competition early. It's damn big. We've dreamed about this since qualification started, and I think we played a very good game, Denmark's defender Joachim Mæhle said joyously during a TV2 interview. Midfielder Pierre-Emil Højbjerg added, "Redemption, this is redemption. Now we're going to the Euros in the summer, and we can create something really special there." Now, Denmark is in the Euro. Will they really create something special there? Or would it be like their World Cup? Will Denmark get off to a flying start against Slovenia? Let us know what you think. Slovenia versus Denmark. Who will win? Denmark is Euro royalty. They have now entered the tournament 10 times and have won it once. And the story of how they achieved that is amazing. We've discussed the different winners of this competition in another video, but let's give a brief recap. Denmark won the Euro in 1992, and how they pulled it off was amazing. You could even say they were lucky to win it. Denmark initially didn't qualify for the competition. It was Yugoslavia that qualified, but the political landscape in Yugoslavia was volatile, and it resulted in them being disqualified from the competition. So Denmark was asked to replace them, and the players had only one mandate. They were not supposed to embarrass themselves and the country. The Denmark national team did just that and went above and beyond any and all expectations to shock the world. They performed excellently in the group. They beat France and drew with England. Then they beat the Netherlands in the semi-finals on penalties before they eventually stunned the competition favourites Germany to a historic Euro win. Do you think this is the biggest upset in Euro history? Would this competition be another miraculous Denmark race to the finals? Denmark tasted glory in 1992, and they reached the semi-finals in the 2020 competition, which was their best finish since they won it. As mentioned earlier, for Slovenia, the upcoming 2024 Euro will be only their second qualification ever, with the first being in 2000, where Slovenia finished second in their qualification group. They finished behind Norway, but were ahead of Greece, Latvia, Albania, and Georgia. Their second position took them to the playoffs, where they beat Ukraine 3-2 on aggregate to qualify for their first ever major tournament. Slovenia shared the same group with Spain, Yugoslavia and Norway. Their first match against Yugoslavia was exciting. Slovenia scored 3 goals, with Zlatko Zahovic scoring twice. It looked like they would win their first ever game in the tournament. Unfortunately, Yugoslavia scored 3 goals in 6 outrageous minutes, and the match ended in a draw. For their match against Spain, Slovenia were resolute. Spain scored early in the game through Raul, but Slovenia weren't fazed. Slovenia equalised against Spain through Zahovic, before Spain scored the game-winning goal through Joseba Echeverria. Spain narrowly won that match, and all Slovenia had to do to advance to the next stage was to beat Norway. Unfortunately, their heroic Zahovic blanked, and they couldn't get the much-needed win that would have allowed them to create history for their national team. Now, Slovenia have qualified for another Euro tournament. Would they make something out of it and qualify from the group stage? To achieve that, Slovenia have to beat Denmark, but that's easier said than done, especially as Denmark have the advantage. Denmark and Slovenia have played against each other 6 times, and Denmark have beaten Slovenia 5 times and drawn them once. 2 of those matches they have played against each other were in the Euro 2024 qualifiers. As we mentioned earlier, the 2 nations were in the same qualification group. In those 2 contests, Slovenia have shown that they don't know how to handle Denmark yet. While Slovenia managed to draw with Denmark in the first match of the qualifying group stages, the match statistics tell a different story entirely. Denmark dominated that match completely, but the statistics also show something too. Slovenia can be resolute in defence, but if they want to get something from Denmark, they have to do better than they did in their second match against Denmark. Denmark beat them in that match 2-1 and dominated the game yet again, with Slovenia's only attempt coming from a set piece. Slovenia versus Denmark, players to watch. Sure, Slovenia have one of Europe's finest striking prospects, 20-year-old Benjamin Sesko leading their line. For his club, RB Leipzig, Sesko has scored 11 goals and has made 2 assists in 21 appearances. However, he can't come alive if he doesn't get the service he needs. Denmark also have Manchester United's 21-year-old striker, Rasmus Højlund, who scored 7 goals in 8 qualifying matches for his country. Apart from these 2 youngsters, the 2 teams have very capable goalkeepers, with Slovenia's Jan Oblak seeming to have more work to do than Denmark's Kasper Schmeichel. Apart from making sure Denmark's lethal attack don't have any joy when they play, Jan Oblak, as the captain, must also make sure his team remain resolute and not lose their concentration in the game. Denmark's captain and centre-back Simon Kjaer has the dual role of keeping Sesko quiet and also ensuring that Denmark don't get frustrated if it gets too difficult to score against Slovenia. This will be some interesting matchup between these two teams, and the Dortmund Stadium will be rocking in this match. Slovenia versus Denmark. The venue. Already the Dortmund Stadium is beautiful, but on that day it'll be even more so. This stadium is the home of Borussia Dortmund and the famous Yellow Wall, and is also Germany's largest stadium. It is also the 7th largest in Europe, and the 3rd largest home to a top-flight European club after Camp Nou and Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. The stadium's construction was finished in 1974, and since then, it has hosted 1974 World Cup games. It also hosted the 2001 UEFA Cup final between Liverpool and Alaves. Now the stadium will host Slovenia versus Denmark, and as we have mentioned earlier, this match will be exhilarating. The two countries both have something to prove. Who do you think wants to win the most? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more.